The owner of the beloved social media star Peanut the squirrel and also Fred the raccoon now preparing to file a lawsuit after his pets were seized from him and euthanized by New York State Department of Environmental, get this, conservation. Joining me now, Peanut and Fred's owner Mark Longo and his attorney Nora Marino. Thank you both for being here. Mark, I'd like to start off with you. Just tell me, how have the last about 5 months been like for you since the loss of Peanut and Fred, and why have you decided to take legal action?
Well, thank you so much for having us, Brian. It's been a nightmare. Even watching those, I was, trying not to cry. But the answers to the questions as to why Peanut and Fred were killed need to be answered. Why it was a 10-month investigation and a 5-hour raid of my house with multiple agents. We want the questions to all of the answers to all the questions that we've been asking for the last 5 months.
And why do you think that there was such an aggressive move to raid your home and to ultimately kill Peanut and Fred?
That, Brian, I haven't a clue, and that's really what the world is waiting for the answers to is, what was such, why was Peanut and Fred such a detriment to society that they needed to be taken and dissected? They were murdered. They weren't euthanized.
Yeah. Nora, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation says that they were euthanized because they had to test both Peanut and Fred for rabies. But I know you have a big issue with that. Can you tell me more about your legal lawsuit that's on the way here, your legal action?
Sure, and thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. The whole story about the rabies bite is it's just not credible. I mean, you have these allegedly professional people who deal with wild animals. That's their job, and you don't know how to pick up a 4-pound squirrel or whatever a squirrel weighs. It's just not a credible story that you don't know how to handle a squirrel to avoid getting bit. And as for your question, Brian, about why they behaved in this manner, I think this is just about government flexing their muscles and doing something because they can, because they have the power to do these things. And it's an abuse of power, and it's governmental overreach. And those are such major components of what happened here that led to this tragedy, not only trampling on my client's constitutional rights, but killing 2 innocent animals in the process. And the only way to get justice here is with this lawsuit.
Yeah, so this is a serious constitutional legal battle. I mean, obviously it's serious when anyone's pet is killed, but this is about people's rights, Nora.
Yes, it absolutely is. And, I've seen this, more often than I would have liked to in my career now with this governmental overreach and governmental bullying and intimidation. Really, you're going to send 10 cars and 8 armed men to this house and engage in a 5-hour raid for a squirrel and a raccoon. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary. It's ridiculous. There were other ways to handle this. You don't need to go from 0 to 100 without taking any steps in between before you get there. I can understand the sense of urgency or the element of surprise necessary with, a drug den or dog fighting or some gang activity. But to seize a squirrel and a raccoon, to infringe on somebody's constitutional rights like this, it's just unacceptable. And this is a country where it's supposed to be government of the people, by the people, for the people, not the other way around.
Mark, you were in the process, it's my understanding, of registering these animals, of trying to acquiesce to New York State's laws and regulations that these wild animals were part of your sanctuary. Can you explain a little bit more about that, and also the fact that these weren't wild animals in your mind, these were companions, right?
Right, Brian. We run a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanut's Freedom Farm. Our house is filled with over 400 animals. We have been complying with everything the state needs for our nonprofit to continue to run. And we're law-abiding citizens. This was a paperwork issue that we were dealing with through the DEC. My wife, myself, and a few other board members actually took the exam and applied for the wildlife rehabber's license through the DEC. So this agency knew I was doing the proper steps to get the paperwork. And I just truly believe that they saw that I was doing the proper steps to get these animals registered, and they thought, let's go in and take them and kill them before you can get everything done. I was targeted as me and my family. This has nothing to do with a squirrel and a raccoon, and everything to do with the government overreach of me and my family. And the collateral damage was unfortunately Peanut and Fred.
And ultimately, how do you remember Peanut and Fred, Mark? How would you like the world to remember them?
They were the happiest go lucky, showing Peanut for 7.5 years to the world was a dream come true. You could see behind me, this is his room. It's a memorial room from every single supporter sending their favorite memories of Peanut and Fred. And I'm just honored that I was able to share them with the world for so many years. It impacted so many people's life. It brought so much joy and happiness to see some unique animals that unfortunately couldn't live in their natural habitat.
And Nora, ultimately here, just a few seconds, what are you seeking? What kind of damages are you seeking on behalf of Mark?
Well, our damages have not been quantified yet, but we are seeking compensation for violations of multiple constitutional amendments, pain and suffering, negligent hiring, supervision and training, conversion, replevin. We have a whole bunch of causes of action, false arrest, malicious prosecution, because even though there wasn't a prosecution, that there are elements of that cause of action that can be pled here. Just a lot of things. And we're just hoping not only to bring, not only to get compensation for my clients, but I also want to bring light to the plight of animals and the constitutional infringements taken on by our government.
Nora Marino, Mark Longo, thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.